The screech of tires on asphalt ripped through the afternoon haze like a gunshot, but it was her voice that hit hardest. "You think you can just waltz in here like nothing happened, James? After you destroyed our family with your filthy little secret?" Sarah's words exploded across the school parking lot, heads whipping around as parents froze mid-conversation, their coffee cups hovering forgotten in the air. And there, in the eye of the storm, was Ethan, our 9-year-old son, his backpack slipping from his shoulder, eyes wide as saucers, staring at me like I'd just confessed to being the bogeyman himself. I stumbled back a step, the weight of 1,000 invisible stares pinning me in place. "Sarah, not here," I hissed, glancing at Ethan, but she was a freight train now, barreling forward with the fury of 5 years bottled up. "Oh, hell no. Everyone deserves to know what kind of man picks up their kid from soccer practice. James Harlan, devoted dad? More like James the liar, the one who fucked around with men while I raised our boy alone." The parking lot at Willow Creek Elementary blurred into a nightmare of minivans and judgmental glares. I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks, not from the late September sun beating down on this godforsaken Indiana suburb, but from the shame twisting like a knife in my gut. Ethan let out a small whimper, his sneakers scuffing the pavement as he edged toward me, but Sarah snatched his arm. "Stay away from him, baby. He's not safe. Not safe." The words choked out of me, raw and ragged. I'd spent half my life building walls around this exact moment, brick by goddamn brick, and here it was, crumbling under the weight of her venom. Teachers hovered at the edges, murmuring into walkie-talkies, while a cluster of moms, those perfect PDA Stepford wives with their yoga pants and pearl necklaces, whispered behind manicured hands. One of them, Mrs. Whitaker from down the block, actually gasped, her hand flying to her mouth like she'd witnessed a murder. I dropped to one knee, ignoring the gravel biting into my skin, and reached for Ethan. "Hey, buddy, it's okay. Daddy's got you." My voice cracked, but I forced a smile, the kind I'd perfected over years of bedtime stories and little league cheers. His lower lip trembled, those big brown eyes mirror images of mine, searching my face for the lie. God, what had she poisoned him with already? In the divorce papers, we'd agreed, no airing dirty laundry in front of the kid. But Sarah? She was a hurricane in heels, and I'd been the fool who thought joint custody would mean peace. She yanked him back harder. "Don't touch him, James. You hear me? After what I found on your phone, those apps, those chats with God knows who. You think you get to play hero." Her voice carried, slicing through the stunned silence. A phone buzzed somewhere. Someone was filming this shit. Welcome to small-town America, where scandals spread faster than flu season. I stood slowly, my 6-foot frame unfolding like it weighed a ton. At 42, I wasn't the scrawny kid who'd fled Ohio for the promise of Bloomington's college-town anonymity anymore. No, I was the high school history teacher with the steady job, the mortgage, the minivan, straight as an arrow, or so everyone thought. Except her. Except me, in the dead of night when the guilt clawed at my chest like a caged animal. "Sarah, please. Let's talk about this at home." My plea hung there, pathetic even to my ears. Home. What a joke. Our split had carved up the Colonial on Maple Street like a Thanksgiving turkey. Her with the master suite, me in the cramped basement apartment that smelled faintly of mildew and regret. She laughed, a brittle, ugly sound that echoed off the brick facade of the school. Home? You lost that privilege when you chose your dick over our family. Tell them, James. Tell Ethan why mommy and daddy aren't together anymore. Tell him about the men. The crowd murmured, a low rumble like distant thunder. Ethan's face crumpled, and he buried it in Sarah's skirt, his small body shaking. That did it. Something primal snapped in me. The dad who'd coached t-ball and memorized every Pokemon evolution just to make him smile. I stepped forward, voice low but steel-edged. Enough. You're scaring him. A burly dad in a flannel shirt, Tim Hargrove, the auto shop owner who'd always eyed me funny at barbecues, clapped a hand on my shoulder, not gently. Harlan, maybe you should go. Let the lady handle this. I shrugged him off, heat flashing in my veins. This is my son. Back the fuck off. The curse hung there, widening eyes all around. Sarah's triumph gleamed like polished chrome. See, that's the real James. Violent. Unstable. Just like I told the judge. The judge. Shit. Our custody hearing was in 2 weeks, and I'd been walking on eggshells, documenting every playground pickup, every homework session, to prove I was the stable one. Now this? Front page fodder for the County Whisper Network. Ethan peeked out, his voice a tiny thread. Daddy, are you gay? The world tilted. 9 years old, and he'd weaponized the word like a grenade. I knelt again, closer this time, Sarah's grip loosening just enough. Ethan, listen to me. I love you more than anything. More than baseball, more than ice cream sundaes. And yeah, Daddy likes boys. But that doesn't change how much I love you. Ever. He nodded slowly, tears carving tracks through the dirt on his cheeks. But there was a flicker, curiosity, relief, couldn't tell. Sarah scooped him up, her glare daggers. Come on, baby. We're leaving. You can stay with Grandma tonight. As they stormed toward her SUV, the lot erupted into chaos, questions flying, phones flashing. I stood there, alone in the epicenter, the taste of bile rising. 20 years I'd buried it. The crushes on locker room teammates, the furtive glances at college parties, the marriage to Sarah because she was safe, kind, the girl who made sense on paper. We'd met at IU, bonded over bad coffee and poli-sci debates, built a life that looked picture-perfect from the outside. But inside, I'd been drowning, one secret breath at a time. By the time I slid into my truck, the sun dipping low and painting the sky bloody, my hands shook on the wheel. The drive home was a blur of cornfields and radio static, some country crooner wailing about lost love. Fitting. I pulled into the apartment complex, faded brick boxes crammed with divorces and undergrad overflow, and killed the engine. No messages from Sarah, just a text from my sister in Chicago. WTF happened? Call me. I didn't. Instead, I cracked a beer from the fridge, the cheap stuff that tasted like regret, and sank onto the sagging couch. The place was a tomb, unpacked boxes from the move, a single framed photo of Ethan grinning gap-toothed on his bike. No pictures of us as a family. We'd scrubbed those clean, like erasing a stain. Sleep didn't come easy that night. I tossed in sheets that smelled of Febreze and failure, replaying the scene on loop. Ethan's question. Sarah's rage. The whispers that would follow me into faculty meetings, parent-teacher nights. James Harlan, the gay teacher. Would they fire me? Indiana wasn't exactly a rainbow wonderland. We'd had our share of bathroom bills and bake sale boycotts. Dawn crept in gray and unforgiving, coffee brewing like motor oil in the pot. I showered, the hot water doing nothing to wash away the grime of yesterday. Dressed in khakis and a polo, the uniform of the respectable everyman, I headed to Bloomington High, where I taught AP US history to juniors who barely gave a damn about the founding fathers. The hallways buzzed with the usual chaos. Lockers slamming, kids glued to screens, the faint we'd whiff from the bathrooms. But today, eyes lingered. A nod from Coach Riley turned awkward. His usual backslap replaced by a mumbled rough day. Ha! By third period, the dam broke, a text from my department head, office. Now, Principal Ellis was a no-nonsense type, ex-military with a buzz cut and a desk piled high with budget reports. James, sit, no preamble. Heard about the incident. Parents are calling. Board might get involved. My stomach dropped. It was a personal matter, sir. My ex. I get it. Divorces are messy. But outing yourself like that, in front of kids, we have a duty here. Outing? She outed me. I didn't. He held up a hand, weathered palm like a stop sign. Doesn't matter. Optics. You're on admin leave until we sort this. Paid. But stay low. Leave. The word echoed like a sentence. I nodded, numb, and shuffled out, the bell ringing mockingly cheerful. Outside, the football field stretched green and endless, cheerleaders practicing flips under a sky turning bruise purple. Freedom, my ass. This was exile. Back in the apartment, I paced like a caged lion, phone silent as a grave. No word from Sarah, no custody update. Just the hum of the AC and the distant bark of neighbor dogs. I fired up my laptop, scrolling job sites out of habit, maybe adjunct at community college. Or hell, Uber in Indy. Anything to keep the lights on for Ethan. That's when the mail slot clattered. Bills, junk flyers, and a single envelope. Cream stock. No return address. Handwritten, in elegant script, James Harlan, Apt 2B. My name in ink that looked like it belonged in a novel. I slid it open with a butter knife, unfolding a single sheet. The words hit like a sucker punch. Dear James, I shouldn't be writing this. Hell, I shouldn't even know where you live. But I was there yesterday, in the parking lot, picking up my niece from art club. Saw the whole ugly mess unfold. And something about you, that quiet strength cracking under the weight, it pulled at me. Like unfinished business from another life. We met once. Remember? Summer '98. That dive bar off Kirkwood. You were nursing a whiskey sour, sketching maps of the Underground Railroad on a napkin. I bought you around. We talked Kerouac till closing. William. That's me. The guy who slipped you his number on a coaster, only to wake up regretting it because I was running scared too. I've thought about you over the years. Wondered what became of the dreamer with the sad eyes. Now this, your world imploding, and you standing tall for that boy. It stirred something. If you're reading this, maybe it's fate. Or stupidity. Either way, coffee, tomorrow, 10 a.m., the Laughing Planet. No pressure. Just an ear, if you need one. Yours in solidarity, William Tate. The paper trembled in my hands. William. Flashes hit me. Broad shoulders in a faded IUT. Laugh like gravel and honey. The brush of fingers over that damn coaster. One night, 27 years ago, when I was 20, untested, and the world felt wide open. I'd crumpled his number the next morning, buried it under layers of denial. Sarah came later, safety net turned noose. Now this, a ghost from the past, materializing like a lifeline in the wreckage. I stared at the clock, 8:47 p.m. Tomorrow loomed, full of unknowns. Part of me wanted to burn the letter, bolt the door, pretend it never came. But another part, the one that had whispered what if in the dark for decades, itched to go. I folded it carefully, tucking it into my wallet like a talisman. Ethan. Sarah. The school. It all swirled, a tornado of what-ifs. But for the first time since the parking lot, a spark flickered. Not hope, exactly. Curiosity. The kind that could burn everything down or light the way out. The Laughing Planet smelled like patchouli and fresh tortillas, a Bloomington staple where trust fund hippies rubbed elbows with hungover profs. I pushed through the door at 9:55, heart hammering like I chugged a pot of their organic fair trade. The place was half full. A yoga mom scrolling Pinterest, a table of grad students dissecting Foucault over avocado toast. No William in sight. I claimed a corner booth. Back to the wall, old habit from too many bar fights in my misspent youth. Ordered a black coffee, strong enough to strip paint, and nursed it while scanning faces. What if he didn't show? What if this was some cruel prank? A setup by one of Sarah's bridge club bitches? Paranoia. Harlan. Get a grip. At 10:03, the bell tinkled, and in walked a man who could only be him. Taller than I remembered, silver threading his dark hair. But those eyes, storm gray, sharp as a hawk's, nailed me from across the room. He wore a linen shirt rolled to the elbows, jeans faded just right, a leather satchel slung over one shoulder. Artist, writer, the kind of guy who looked like he belonged on a Patagonia catalog, not slinging lattes in flyover country. James, his voice was deeper now, laced with that same Midwestern drawl, warm as bourbon. He extended a hand, calloused from pencils, guitar strings. I shook it, the grip firm, electric. William. Been a while. He slid into the booth, flashing a grin that crinkled the corners of his eyes. Understatement of the century. You look good. Tired, but good. A waitress materialized, ponytail swinging, notepad poised. He ordered a chai latte, extra foam, and I signaled for a refill. Small talk bridged the gap. Weather, crisp fall turning to bite. Bloomington changes, new microbrewery on 4th Street. But under it simmered the unspoken, bubbling like the espresso machine. Finally, he leaned in, elbows on the scarred wood table. About the letter. I know it's weird, dropping in like this, but seeing you yesterday, it gutted me. The way she went at you, public execution style, reminded me of my own closet implosion, back in '05. Lost my job at the gallery. Family went radio silent. You don't deserve that shit. I stirred my coffee, spoon clinking like a metronome. Deserve? Hell, maybe I do. I played the part too long, husband, father, pillar of the community. Sarah found out 6 months ago. Hacked my phone. Saw Grindr notifications. Thought we could handle it quiet like therapy, open marriage bullshit. But she weaponized it. Custody's a bloodbath now. He nodded. No pity, just understanding. Kids change everything. How's Ethan holding up? The mention of my boy twisted something deep. Confused. Angry. Maybe. He asked me point blank if I was gay. Like it's a superpower or a curse. I laughed. Bitter. Kids smarter than me. Saw through the facade years ago. Probably. William's gaze softened. You're a good dad, James. I could see it, even from 50 yards away. The way you knelt down made him your world in that chaos. That's not fake. Heat crept up my neck. Not embarrassment, but something warmer, forbidden. No one had looked at me like that in years, not with hunger masked as compassion. Cleared my throat. So, you. What brings the ghost of Barstool's past back to haunt me? Still chasing Kerouac dreams. He chuckled. Low and rich. Close. I'm a freelance illustrator now. Books. Mostly. Live in Chicago. But my sister's here. Teaching at IU. Niece is Ethan's age. Hence the school run. Divorced myself. No kids. Came out clean in my 30s. After a decade of bad dates with women who deserved better. He paused. Fingers tracing the rim of his mug. That night in '98. You were electric, James. Talking revolution. Sketching freedom routes. I chickened out after. Transferred schools. Cowardice. Pure. The air thickened. Charged like pre-storm static. I remembered too. His knee brushing mine under the bar. The way his laugh drowned out the jukebox twang. I'd gone home to my dorm, heart racing, and jerked off to the phantom scent of his cologne. Then shoved it down, deep, where it festered. Regrets are my specialty, I admitted. Married Sarah junior year because stability, job prospects, family approval. She was great, on paper. We had Ethan, built the house. But the lies piled up. Late nights grading papers at the library, actually scrolling profiles, chatting with strangers I'd never meet. Harmless, I told myself. Until it wasn't. He reached across, hesitating before covering my hand with his. Rough, warm, grounding. It's not harmless when it's half your soul. I get it. My ex, Lisa, she knew, deep down. Stuck around for the 401k. When I finally said it aloud, she said, about time, no fireworks, just quiet unraveling. We sat like that, hands linked, the diner hum fading to white noise. For the first time since the parking lot, I breathed easy. No judgment, no agenda. Just two men, scarred by the same blade, stitching wounds over foam-top tea. The chai arrived, breaking the spell. We talked more, his illustrations for indie presses, my obsession with Civil War reenactments, ironic, the uniforms hiding so much. Laughter crept in, tentative, then full-throated. By noon, plates cleared, my burrito untouched, his quinoa bowl demolished, the check came. He snatched it, waving off protest. My treat. Penance for the vanishing act. Outside, leaves skittered across the sidewalk, gold and crimson confetti. He pulled me into a hug, brief but fierce, his stubble grazing my cheek. This doesn't have to be a one-off, James. If you want. I pulled back, searching those gray eyes. Want? God? Yes. But Ethan, Sarah, the custody gauntlet, they loomed like storm clouds. Yeah. Text me. Count on it. He walked away, satchel swinging, disappearing around the corner toward his rental Prius. I stood there, wind tugging at my jacket, feeling exposed and alive. The afternoon dragged. I swung by Sarah's, our old house, technically to check on Ethan. She answered the door in yoga gear, hair in a messy bun, her glare arctic. What do you want? To see my son. He's napping. Rough day. The subtext, your fault. I leaned on the frame, exhaustion settling like lead. Sarah, the school thing. That was low. Even for you. She crossed her arms, the picture of righteous fury. Low? You cheated on me, James. For years. With men. While I was changing diapers, packing lunches. How do I explain that to him? To me, guilt surged, hot and familiar. I never cheated. Not physically. It was escape. Fantasy. I tried to love you the way you deserved. But I couldn't lie anymore. Her laugh was hollow. Escape? That's rich. You escaped into your little apps while I held it all together. Now the whole town knows. Great job security, Mr. History teacher. The barb landed. Admin leave. Principal Ellis's warning. They're putting me on leave. Happy? Something flickered in her eyes. Regret? Not. Triumph. Maybe it's for the best. Gives the judge time to see who's stable. I pushed past, heading for the stairs. Ethan? Buddy? It's Dad. He stirred in his room. Legos scattered like shrapnel. Hey, champ. I sat on the bed's edge, ruffling his hair. School tomorrow? He nodded, clutching a dinosaur plush. Mommy said you're like Uncle Rob. From TV, Uncle Rob, the flamboyant sidekick on that sitcom rerun we'd binge-watched. I swallowed hard. Kinda. But dads can be gay too. Doesn't mean I love you less. Can I still come to your place? For Pizza Fridays. Every Friday, I hugged him tight, inhaling that kid scent of soap and crayons. Sarah loomed in the doorway, arms still barred. 10 minutes, she snapped. Driving back, William's number burned in my pocket. I pulled over at a gas station, thumbs hovering. Coffee was good. Thanks for listening. Jay. His reply pinged instant. Anytime. How's the kid? Shaky. But resilient. Like his old man. Dinner? My sister's got a fire pit. Casual. Bring stories. I hesitated, pulse quickening. Casual. Right. But as I typed yes, the what-ifs quieted, just for a moment. That night, dreams tangled. Sarah's screams morphing into William's laugh, Ethan's hand in mine slipping into gray-eyed promise. Woke sweating, dawn light slanting through blinds. Checked my phone. A photo from him, niece roasting marshmallows. Caption reserved spot for you. Smiled despite the knot in my chest. This, whatever it was, felt dangerous. Reckless. But after years in the shadows, reckless tasted like freedom. Days blurred into a fragile rhythm. Mornings with Ethan, shuttling him to school under Sarah's watchful glare. Afternoons job hunting, polishing resumes for anything that didn't scream scandal. Evenings, texts with William book recs, dad jokes, the slow unfurl of shared histories. We met again midweek. Neutral ground, a trail hike in Brown County, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle bones. He packed a thermos of spiked cider. We talked till sunset about everything and nothing. His hand brushed mine on a rooty path. I didn't pull away. Progress. But cracks showed. A call from my lawyer. Sarah's filing for full custody, citing moral instability. Evidence? The parking lot video, viral on the local Facebook group. Predatory teacher? The comments screamed. Heart sank. But William's voice steadied me over late-night calls. Fight it. You're more than their bullshit. By week's end, the pull was magnetic. He invited me to Chicago, a weekend, Ethan's with Sarah. My place. No pressure. Just us. I said yes, the word tasting like rebellion. Chicago hit like a fever dream, the L train rattling over the Chicago River under a sky bruised purple by exhaust and ambition. William met me at Union Station, easy grin splitting his face amid the tourist crush. Welcome to the big leagues. Hoosier. His apartment was a third-floor walk-up in Wicker Park. Exposed brick, bookshelves groaning under graphic novels and art tomes, a bay window overlooking a street alive with dog walkers and delivery bikes. Home sweet chaos, he said, kicking off boots, handing me a Goose Island IPA from the fridge. We cooked. Pasta primavera. His recipe, me chopping garlic with amateur flair. Laughter flowed easy, wine loosening tongues. Over candlelight dinner on the fire escape, city hum below, he asked the hard one, what scares you most about this? Us. I swirled the Merlot, staring at the swirl like it held answers. Losing Ethan. Or dragging someone else into my mess. You've got your life sorted. Gallery shows. Freedom. I'm still scraping glue off the straight guy mask. He set his glass down. Deliberate. Sorted? James. I'm 45. Single. With a cat that hates me. Freedom's lonely as hell sometimes. His fingers found mine across the iron railing. But you're the first real spark in years. That night in '98 wasn't a fluke. It was a preview. The kiss came natural, like exhaling after holding breath too long. His lips soft but insistent, tasting of salt and spice, hands cupping my jaw with a gentleness that undid me. We stumbled inside, shedding clothes like old skin, my polo hitting the floor, his shirt buttons popping. In the dim bedroom, sheets cool against fevered skin, he mapped me slow. Collarbone, ribs, the scar from a childhood bike wreck. Whispers in the dark, beautiful, waited so long, after, tangled and spent, his head on my chest, heartbeat sinking like a metronome. Stay the weekend, he murmured. World can wait. It did. Mornings in bed, coffee steaming on the nightstand, afternoons wandering. Art Institute, he geeked over Hopper's Lonely Light. Millennium Park, Cloud Gate reflecting our goofy selfies. Evenings, his kitchen became command central, me learning to sketch, him grading my doodles with mock severity. Laughter healed cracks I didn't know were there. But Sunday loomed, return ticket burning. Over brunch at a Ukrainian spot, pierogies drowning in butter, he broached it. What if I came down, weekends in Bloomington? Or, you up for long distance? Hope flickered, fragile. Sarah's ramping up. Lawyer says she might subpoena my browser history. If they dig, Fuck him. His eyes blazed. You're not ashamed anymore. That's power. Back on the train. Skyline shrinking. I texted Ethan. Miss you, champ. Pizza soon? His reply, yes. Mom says hi. Hi? From Ice Queen Sarah? Progress? Or ploy? Home was jarring. The apartment's musty quiet. Stack of unopened mail. Monday brought hell, lawyer's office. Sterile as a morgue. She's alleging endangerment. My attorney, MS Patel, said, flipping files. Claims your lifestyle risks Ethan. We need character witnesses. Fast. Witnesses. Who? My sister. Maybe. Colleagues? Risky. William? Too soon. Too raw. That night, a knock shattered the silence. Sarah. Alone. No Ethan. We need to talk. I let her in. Wary. She paced the living room, heels clicking like accusations. The videos everywhere. Parents are pulling kids from your class. Wait. X-class. You happy? Ecstatic. Sarcasm dripped. What do you want? Sarah. She stopped. Deflating. This isn't me. The screaming. The exposure. I was hurt. James. Betrayed. But Ethan's asking questions. About you. Us. Guilt gnawed. He's resilient. Let me talk to him. A beat. Fine. Supervised. But no. Boyfriends around. Judge's orders pending. Boyfriends. The word hung. Electric. William's texts waited. Miss your laugh already. I pocketed the phone. Weeks compressed. Depositions. Therapy sessions, court-mandated. Sarah too. Ethan thrived in the crossfire, chattering about school plays, oblivious armor. William drove down Fridays, crashing on my couch. Our nights a secret symphony. Stolen kisses in the kitchen, bodies sinking in the dark. But tension brewed. Sarah's lawyer grilled me. Mr. Harlan, how many encounters post-separation? 0. I swore. Truth. William was more connection, not conquest. Then, the betrayal. Mid-November, rain lashing windows like judgment. I came home early from a job interview. Really? Coffee with William at an out-of-town diner. Sarah's car in my spot. Inside. Voices. Hers. Low and coaxing. Ethan's. Hesitant. Daddy's special. Sweetie. But special can be confusing. Remember what Mommy said? Sometimes daddies need help. I froze in the hall. Blood roaring. What the hell? She continued. Saccharine. That's why we're getting you a new room at Grandma's. Safe. Away from. Confusion. Ethan's voice small. But I like Daddy's pizza. Oh. Baby. A Russell hug? Pizza's everywhere. But love? That's Mommy. Rage boiled. I burst in. What the fuck are you doing? Sarah startled. Ethan wide-eyed. James. This is supervised visitation. You weren't due till. Get out. Low. Lethal. Now. She scooped Ethan. Chin high. You're unhinged. See you in court. Door slammed. I sank to the floor. Fists clenched. Poisoning him. My boy. Against me. Called William. Voice breaking. She's turning him. I can't. I'm coming. Pack a bag. My place. Chicago again. Refuge. He held me that night. No words, just presence. Morning. Over eggs. He said, fight dirty if you have to. Private investigator? Dig on her. She's spotless. PTA president. Yoga instructor. Everyone's got dirt. His eyes darkened. Mine did. Ex-wife spread rumors, called me predator. Cost me friends. Gigs. But I lawyered up. Exposed her affairs. Truth's a blade. James. Truth. The word echoed. That afternoon, nursing a scotch in his living room, I spilled it all. The apps, the chats, the one time a fumbling hookup in an indie motel, months back, pre-William. Regret, pure. He listened, no flinch. Human. Flawed. But you're choosing better now. Kissed him then. Fierce. Gratitude and fear mingling. Don't let me fuck this up. Wouldn't dream of it. Back in Bloomington. Resolve hardened. Hired a PI, discreet. Ex-cop type. Days later. Report landed. Sarah's yoga retreats. Weekend flings with the instructor. Hotel receipts timestamped during solo parenting nights. Hypocrite. Confronted her at neutral ground. Park bench. Ethan at swings. We both screwed up. But Ethan's collateral. Drop the full custody, or it goes public. Her face paled. You wouldn't. Try me. Stalemate. Court date neared. Air thick with unspoken threats. Then, the letter. Not from William, from Sarah's lawyer, slipped under my door. Summons for emergency hearing. Allegation. Recent illicit activity endangering minor. Illicit? What? Panic clawed. William? Had she tailed us? The diner? The hugs? Called him frantic. They're coming for us. For you. Static. Then James? What's? Click. Line dead. No. No. Heart hammered. Drove to his suggested meet. The bar from 98. Neon flickering open. Inside. Dim and smoky. He waited at our old booth. Talk to me. Words tumbled. The summons. My fear. He pulled a coaster. Scribbled his number. Redundant. Sweet. I'm in. Witnesses. Alibis. Whatever. But his phone buzzed unknown. He glanced. Face draining. Shit. What? Nothing. Work. Eyes evaded. Doubt seated. That night, alone, I scrolled his socials, public. Innocuous. Sketches. Cat pics. But a tagged photo, him. Arm around a guy. Recent. Caption. Old Flames reunion? Flames? Plural? Jealousy spiked. Irrational. We'd never defined. But betrayal's shadow loomed. Sarah's poison seeping. Next day. PI update. Sarah's cleanish. But one more thing. William Tate, not so spotless. Past assault charge. Dropped. But whispers of volatility. X said he exploded over coming out. No. Couldn't be. Confronted him over text. What's the story with the charge? Hours later, ancient history. Drunk fight. Exaggerated. Dodgy. Trust frayed. Court eve. Rain relentless. He showed at my door. Soaked. James. Listen. Not now. I blocked him. Need space. He left. Shoulders slumped. Alone. I wept for Ethan, for us, for the boy who'd sketched freedom on napkins, now caged again. The courtroom smelled of polished oak and stale coffee, fluorescent buzz underscoring the farce. Monroe County Family Court, a beige box of bureaucracy where dreams got shredded like bad checks. I sat ramrod straight in the gallery, suit itching, Ms. Patel murmuring strategy, stay calm. Deny nothing. Explain everything. Ethan wasn't there, too young. Thank God. But his ghost hovered, every ruling a swing at his world. Sarah entered opposite, poised in navy sheath, her lawyer a shark in pinstripes. No William. His texts unanswered since last night. My paranoia a live wire. Judge Harlan, no relation. Small mercies, wrapped gavel, voice gravel. Emergency motion, MS. Harlan seeks temporary sole custody pending full hearing. Grounds, moral turpitude, recent conduct. Shark stood. Your Honor, new evidence. Witness statements place Mr. Harlan in compromising situations post-separation. Inappropriate for minor exposure. Compromising. My gut twisted. They'd followed me. The diner. William's hand on mine. Ms. Patel objected. Vague. Hearsay. Mr. Harlan's private life. Overruled. Call your witness. Counselor. Sarah's PI took the stand. Paunchy in off-rack suit. Observed subject at roadside eatery. Kirkwood, Indiana. Intimate contact with unidentified male. Public display. Intimate? A hug. For Christ's sake. But the photo projected grainy. Us leaning close. Drip-fed the narrative. Predator dad. Luring strangers. Whispers rippled. Sarah dabbed her eyes. Oscar-worthy. My turn. Under oath. Sweat beading. I owned it. Yes. I'm gay. Married Sarah knowing it deep down. But hoping. I don't know. That it'd fade. Voice steady. For Ethan. The man? William Tate. A friend. First real relationship in years. But no exposure to my son. Ever. Shark pounced. Friend? Or lover? And this Tate history of violence. Drop charge. But pattern. Violence? The seed sprouted thorns. I don't. Objection. Relevance. Sustained. Stick to facts. But damage done. Judge's frown deepened. Recess called. I bolted to the hall. Gulping air. Ms. Patel. We counter with her affairs. Receipts. Too late. Back in. Her lawyer waved exhibits. Ethan's drawings. Stick figures. Dad with boyfriend scribbled. Torn up. Traumatized. Your Honor. Bullshit. Ethan doodled superheroes. Not trauma porn. Then. Bombshell. One more. Judge. Shark's grin predatory. Letter from Mr. Tate. Letter. My blood iced. He handed it up. Judge scanned. Brow furrowing. Mr. Harlan. Care to explain this correspondence? She passed it. My hands shook unfolding. William's script. Intimate. James, last night was everything. Your touch. Your laugh. Can't wait to build this. W. Dated 2 weeks back. How? I'd never seen it. Wait, his apartment. Fire escape. I tossed a napkin note. Joking. This? Forged? Or? Realization crashed. He'd sent it. To me. But how'd they get it? Shark. Intercepted from trash. Suggests ongoing affair. Disregard for discretion. MS. Patel. Private mail. Found in public bin. Fair game. Lies piled. Avalanche. Judge ruled. Temporary custody to Sarah. Supervised visits for me. Gavel fell like guillotine. Outside. Rain-slick steps. Sarah brushed past. Victory sour. For Ethan. I grabbed her arm, gentle, desperate. What did you do? The letter. She wrenched free. Fight fair? You started it. Alone in the lot. Truck cab a confessional. Sobs racked me. Betrayed by her. By the system. By him. Drove to the bar. Neon mocking. William waited. Pint untouched. You came. Relief? Accusation? Explain. I slapped the letter down. How'd she get this? His face crumpled. James. Sarah called. Weeks ago. From your phone? No voicemail. You left it at the house once. She threatened exposure. My past the charge. It was her digging. Her PI work. Said she'd bury you unless I backed off. I refused. But the letter. I sent it. Yeah. Pushed too hard. Maybe. Thought it'd show I'm all in. All in? By screwing me over. Voice rose. Barflies glancing. No. I told her to fuck off. But she twisted it. Probably paid someone to snag it from your trash. James. Please. Doubt Ward with ache. His eyes pleaded. Same as that first coffee. Why not tell me? Fear. Of losing you before we started. He stood. Close. That charge? Bar fight. Defending a queer kid from bashers. Dropped, caused truth. But smears stick. I deflated. Rain tracking down window. Court. She won. Temp custody. His arms enveloped. Solid. Then we appeal. Together. But trust fractured. Pulled away. Need time. He nodded. Gutted. I'll wait. Weeks ground. Supervised visits in sterile rooms. Ethan coloring while a social worker observed. He chattered about school. But eyes shadowed. Mommy says you're sad 'cause of boys. Boys make me happy. Buddy. Like how you love dinosaurs. Smile. Fleeting. Sarah gloated via texts. See? Stability wins. William's calls went to voicemail. His sketches arrived. Mailbox surprises. Me and Ethan as adventurers. Capes billowing. Softened edges. But scar tissue pulled. Holiday loomed. Thanksgiving. Sarah's invite. Family dinner. For Ethan. Trap? Or olive branch? I went. Starched collar choking. Her parents' house. Turkey roasting. Football droning. Ethan hugged fierce. Sarah civil. Wine loose. Truce? She whispered post-dinner. Dishes clattering. For him, but her eyes calculating. Night after. Breakdown. Called William. Slurred. Miss you. Fuck this. He arrived dawn. Chicago plates muddy. No words. Just held me till sobs ebbed. Made love slow. Reclaiming body's whisper of forgiveness. But climax brewed. PI's final report. Sarah's instructor? Married. But she knew. Blackmail fodder? No worse. Sarah's emails to him. Play along. Get dirt on James's boyfriend. Custody leverage. Betrayal. double-barreled. She'd coached the fling, timed for discovery. To paint me the villain. Confrontation, her yoga studio, mats rolled, incense heavy. You set it up. The whole affair charade. She blanched, then fire. You think you're innocent? Hiding for years. Lying in our bed. That was wrong. But this? Using Ethan as pawn. Sobs cracked her facade. I was scared. Of losing him. Of being the straight wife to a gay icon. Human. Flawed. Like me. End it, I said. Joint custody. Real. Or the emails go to the judge. She nodded. Broken. For him, Christmas came soft. Ethan with us both. Tree trim trios. William joined tentative, you'll log. Stories swapped. Ethan warmed. Uncle Will? Draw me a dragon. Laughter healed. But shadows lingered. New Year's. William's toast. To truths. Told loud. Kissed under midnight cheers. But whisper. The charge. Full story. He sighed. X spread it. But the fight, I threw first. Rage at my own closet. Not proud. Vulnerability. Raw. I held tighter. We all have demons. Spring thawed, full hearing. Evidence mounted, her emails. My stability logs. Judge ruled joint. 50/50ths. Gavel sweet. After. Park picnic. Ethan splashing puddles. Sarah awkward thawed. Sorry, she mouthed. Nod. Forgiveness. Budding. Summer unfurled lazy. Fireflies winking over Lake Monroe like nature's confetti. Joint custody settled into groove. Ethan shuttling weekends. School year split even. Sarah dated her instructor. Open now. No games. Me, William became fixture barbecues. Trail runs. His sketches adorning our walls. Our walls. He'd sublet Chicago. Take an adjunct art gig at IU. Bloomington bloomed for us. Tentative roots. But humanism's the slow burn. Not fireworks. Doubts nagged. Was I enough? For Ethan. For him? Nights. Ethan's bunk bed chats turned deep. Dad. If I like a boy someday? Heart swelled. Love who lights you up. Kid. Rest follows. He grinned. Gap-toothed again. Like you and Uncle Will? Exactly. School reinstated me. Cautious. Counseling. Ally training. I let it. Actually, coming out assembly. Kids rapped. No whispers now. Pride pins on backpacks. Sarah and I, co-parent pros. Her wedding next spring, Ethan ringbearer. Invited us. William RSVP'd with a wink. Tux shopping. Betrayal scar faded. Lesson etched. Secrets corrode. Truth liberates. But the letter, that stranger's script, sparked it all. William framed it. Our mantle talisman. Yours in solidarity. One August Eve. Post-bedtime. Porch swing creaking. Fireflies danced. Crickets chorused. He leaned head on my shoulder. Wineglass dangling. Ever think about that night in '98? If I'd pushed. Every day. Fingers laced. Would have saved a decade of drowning. Or sunk us sooner. His laugh rumbled. Nah. Timing's everything. You needed the dad years. I needed the miles. Wise. Human. Propose something crazy? Always. Move in. Official. For real. He stilled. Then kissed temple soft. Thought you'd never ask. Fall wedding hers brought closure. Vows exchanged under oaks. Ethan beaming. Post-ceremony. Sarah pulled me aside. Champagne flutes clinking. You were right. About choosing better. Us both. Hug. Genuine. No venom. Ethan. Tyascu. Dad. Dance with Uncle Will. Spotlight pulled us. Slow circle to old standards. His hand waist warm. Breath ear tickling. This. Forever. Forever. Climax? Not drama's peak. A quiet hospital call. 2 springs later. Ethan's appendix. Midnight rush. Sarah and I tag team waiting room. William fetched coffee. Held my hand through screams. Surgery success. Post-op. Kid high on painkillers. My 3 dads? Wait. No. Mom's new guy's Uncle Mike. Laughter. Cathartic. In the hall. Arms around each other, me. Sarah. William. Mike hovering. Family. Patchwork but whole. Years spool. Ethan teen now. Out and proud at prom with his boyfriend. Us cheering bleachers. William's book deal. Graphic novel on hidden histories. Queer underground railroad tales. My tenure. Classroom rainbow flags. Betrayal. Distant echo. Teacher in grace. The outing at school. Catalyst. Not curse. That letter. Fate's nudge. 1 anniversary, ours. Simple bands exchanged lakeside. He read from a new sketchbook. Us. Ethan grown. Silver-haired on a porch. Fireflies eternal. Told you, I whispered. Truth lights the way. He closed it. Kiss ceiling. In America's heartland. Under stars indifferent yet kind. We burned steady. Human. Loved.